I wanted to create a video sharing with you how to not get pickpocketed when you are traveling through Europe. As a solo female traveler, I was a little bit nervous about getting pickpocketed because from doing my research on Europe, I found that it is very, very common to get pickpocketed in all the touristy areas. And I was literally terrified before going, and I was prepared to wrap plastic wrap all around me so that no one would steal anything from me. I was genuinely freaked out. Hey you guys, it's Natalie. I just got back from a 2-month solo backpacking trip throughout Europe and I saw over 15 countries. It was an absolutely amazing experience. After going to Europe, these are my takeaways. Let's jump right into it. My first tip is to choose a purse or a fanny pack that has multiple zippers on it, okay? When you make it so complicated for the person that wants to steal something from you to steal, they are probably not going to even try to do it. Anyway, this is the fanny pack that I used when I was in Europe. I loved it because it fit my little mini tripod in it. It fit my extra phone battery, my phone, my camera, everything, my money, my passport, everything. There's a lot of different zippers inside of it, as you can see. I'll show you. So you can see there's a zipper inside, on the outside, and there's another zipper on the inside of the main pocket. So in order to not get pickpocketed, what I did was always keep my passport and money on the pocket that was on the inside of my fanny pack or on the back, because the way that you wear this, having it lean against you like this. So in order for someone to pickpocket me, they would have had to take their hand and then put it basically feel me up to unzip this back part and then remove the money or whatever I had in that pocket. And to me, that just sounds like a really big and challenging and not fun activity to partake in. So I was never pickpocketed because I was very strategic with the bag that I chose and the zippers as well. One thing I will note is I watched a lot of videos where people say they will take a knife and they'll just cut the bottom of your bag or your backpack or whatever, and then just let everything fall out. And then, if it's money or any valuables, they'll grab those and then run away. Just kind of be prepared for the different scenarios that can happen and just do research on the place that you're traveling to. For me, I always just had my hand right here. So if they were going to stab cut my bag, they would have stabbed me. So, that could happen too, I guess. But I was just very, cautious with everyone around me, which we'll get into that as well. If you have a good bag, then you're signing up for a safe and secure trip. So this was a really good fanny pack. I'll leave it in the description box down below. Another method that I started to use throughout my journey, just to feel a little bit extra safe, was I took my crossbody and I put it inside of a tote. So I'd carry the tote on my shoulder and it looked like I just had a tote, but really I had this inside of the tote. It was another layer of security that they would have had to go through with their hands or knife or whatever to get anything of value in the crossbody. Now, this is an unpopular opinion, but I would rather have my passport and valuables with me, on me at all times, versus keeping it in the hotel or Airbnb locked up, because the hotel manager knows the code to the lock. The Airbnb host or other people that are living there know the code to the lock. So it's anything could happen. They could go into the lock, steal your stuff, and then you're out a passport or money or whatever. So I would rather just have it on me. So when I'm adventuring, it's I know it's with me. I know it's okay. And when I return, if everything else is gone, at least I have the most valuable things with me. Everything fit into this baby. And I picked this fanny pack in particular because it was so fat, but it doesn't look fat when you're wearing it. So the next tip is be aware of all the hot spots where the pickpocketers will go. I would just be so aware of where you're going, where the touristy spots are, and then where the pickpocketing hotspots are, because there will be pickpocketers that dress up as tourists and then all of a sudden their hands are in your pocket and they're stealing something from you. And then know what the schemes are. So in Spain, there's these people, they paint their face white and then they wear these masks and they just kind of walk around and they ask tourists I'll take a picture for you or something. And then the tourist is sure, you can take a picture. While they're taking a picture, they either pickpocket you in that moment or they get someone else to come behind you and then pickpocket you. You don't even realize it because you're taking a picture with this random person that you think is a part of the culture, but really everyone knows it's they're just trying to steal your money or something. Yeah, it can get overwhelming and kind of scary while you're watching these videos, oh shit, that could happen to me. But just remember, if you are prepared and you have the right bag going into it, you're going to be okay. Like, just think positively and just be aware. Some of the hot spots I will mention are obviously all like the touristy spots, but also subways or trains or somewhere that you buy a ticket, train ticket or a bus ticket. Be aware of like who's behind you. If you're alone, just like really look around. What I always did, because I was by myself, so I couldn't have anyone like look around me or have my back while I was buying a ticket. So what I would always do is use my phone, like tap to pay, so I didn't have to like go through my fanny pack and then have to like go in and then like pull out my credit card, and then it's like all the zippers are open. That's like the time where they could go in and steal something. Before I even walked up to the ticket booth, before I was in a hot spot even, I would remove the credit card if I knew that it wasn't like a tap to pay thing. I would have the credit card in my hand or like in a place where I could just easily pull it out, and then when I walked up to the machine, I just paid for the ticket super fast. And then that was it. Finally, another hot spot is just any crowded place. And so it kind of feels like, well, that's everywhere I want to go. Like, how am I going to survive? It's okay. Like, I know it feels like you can't travel, like all these bad things are going to happen. But again, it's better to just be aware and know what could happen and just be prepared for the worst, but, you know, have a really good time at the same time. The third thing I want to bring up, I kind of already mentioned it, but pickpocketers can pretend to be tourists. So I've seen this done on like different YouTube videos where you're about to jump onto a subway and then there's someone else that's like holding luggage, or they'll jump on and like maybe have like a conversation with you, or just like look like a tourist as well, like they just got off a flight, and then they'll follow you off the bus and then try to pickpocket you or like steal something from you. It could be anyone. It really can. It's not like the scary person in the room. It's like it literally could look like anyone. Like people could think you're a pickpocketer for all we know. Okay. One thing that did happen to me is when I was in the airport and I was waiting for my Uber that I called, and someone walked up to me and she was holding like a luggage and just looked like she just got off a flight, straight up. And she came up to me and was like, oh my God, I lost my cash. Like, I can't pay for a taxi home. Like, do you have any cash to give me? Like that sort of thing. This is more of like a beggar, not a pickpocketer, but anything could have happened. I just said like, you know, no, I didn't want to deal with any of that stuff because I don't know if like there were other people around me or something. Anyway, you just have to be really careful. That was like the worst experience that I had, and it wasn't even that bad. Okay, the fourth thing you could do to prevent getting pickpocketed is buy these very special like backpack covers. So when you are traveling from like one city to the next or one country to the next, you're gonna have all of your stuff with you, like your backpack with like everything, like all your valuables, all your money, everything. So like you are walking through a city with this huge backpack. People know like you're a tourist. People know you're not from there. They also know in that backpack is probably something very valuable. Okay. What you can do to like basically not be a target is buy those backpack covers where you can like wrap something around your backpack. There's no way that someone can like unzip something because everything is covered by cloth. So you're basically carrying like this big cloth on your back, which can give you a peace of mind. I saw a lot of people actually carry those, which looked really convenient. So that is an option for you if you want to like just feel super safe as you're walking around. My fifth tip to not get pickpocketed is do not keep your most valuable items in the outside pocket. This is the fanny pack, okay? This is an outside pocket. If someone wanted to steal something, they could easily see that zipper. It's like the first one. It's the easiest one to go into. And so all they have to do is unzip, hand in, out. Okay. So what I would recommend is do not keep anything that is of value in the front. That goes for your backpack as well. Your backpack is going to have zippers on the outside in the front. Do not put your passport there because it's convenient to pull in and out. Do not put your earpods in there because it's easy to just pull in and out. Put those somewhere where it's either leaning against your back so they have to like feel you up or something weird if they're trying to like steal something, or put it inside of your backpack. So that way you know 100% they're not going to steal anything because you have it very, very, very tucked into your backpack. Okay, my next tip to not getting pickpocketed is don't look like a tourist, okay? If you're walking around all confused, like, where do I go? You're looking at your phone because it's like that's where Google Maps is, or you just kind of like look out of place. You are going to be a target. It's like so obvious for pickpocketers to come up to you and like trick you. Just try to act like you know your stuff and you know where you're going and you're walking with a purpose, or you're meeting up with someone, or you live here. It's like just pretend like you know what's going on. And that goes for anywhere. It's not just Europe getting pickpocketed. It's like if you're traveling anywhere, basically by pretending like you know where you're going and being confident, you have lowered the risk of being pickpocketed by like 10%, okay? Or maybe more than that. But you have lowered the risk of being pickpocketed in general. practice in the mirror too. Like if you really need to, like just practice like looking around and knowing where you're going. Some people I know like to put Google Maps on and they'll put earphones in so it will read them the directions in their ears, and then as you're walking it's like you don't have to look at your phone because it's just telling you the directions in your ears. I didn't like doing that because I don't really, like, I'll just look at the map and then just casually like look up. Like I can do it and look natural. And also I didn't want to hear the directions. I wanted to just like live in the moment, you know? So that wasn't for me, but it could be something that you want to try out if you want to like feel a little bit more safe. Okay, and then my final tip for not getting pickpocketed is keep your eyes open and know who is around you, okay? Keep your eyes open for anyone that looks suspicious or that is just staring at you or is like very close to people and like it doesn't really look like they know those people, okay? They can just appear out of nowhere, but if you can see them from a mile away and be like, that's weird, you can have an escape plan, or you can walk up to other people and pretend like you're with their group or something if you're solo traveling. If you don't know where you're at, you're not confident, and you don't even see the pickpocketer from a mile away, you will get pickpocketed. It's just going to happen. Just a general note though, I wanted to share like what I experienced like when I was going through Europe and just traveling on the trains and buses and planes and just walking around. I never saw anyone get pickpocketed personally. That was something I thought I'd see like left and right, but I didn't. I did see a lot of people carrying fanny packs or bags that were like wide open. And so when you hear these like terrible stories of people getting pickpocketed or just like, you know, robbed or scammed or whatever, it's like sometimes they're just asking for it. So just keep that in mind. It's like, yes, these are terrible stories, but maybe they just weren't being smart. I'll just say it. Like there were a lot of people that have like open backpacks, open fanny packs. You're asking for it. You are. I lived in Chicago for like 6 years or so, and it's not super safe over there. So if you're walking around with like your iPhone or you're walking around with like all your super expensive like luxury items, it's like you're literally asking to get robbed. You're asking to be a target. So just use your brain and try not to go outside with an open bag. Try not to go outside with like all of your cash on you. Try to diversify, keep some of your stuff like cash and stuff at home. Just know that if you have something in the outer pocket, you're probably going to get pickpocketed. If you look confused, you probably will get pickpocketed. Basically, just use your brain and you're not going to get pickpocketed, and just follow those tips that I just shared. Overall though, it is very, very safe to go around Europe. It's like, it's so easy to get around too. So if you are planning your own trip to Europe and doing a solo backpacking trip, have fun because it's going to be such a cool experience. I went in the summertime, so it was super hot. But I still loved it because I love the sun. It was really hot on some days, so gelato definitely helped. I did consume 46 gelatos when I was in Europe, and if you want to watch my review of every single gelato place, I'll throw the video up here, which is fun. That is it for today's video. I hope it inspired you to just book that trip and know that like no matter where you are, there's going to be something dangerous that you have to confront. Like the place that you're living right now, if you walk outside, you could get hit by a car or someone could come up and like steal something from you. I don't know. It's like, yes, it happens a lot more often in Europe, but it could happen anywhere. So I hope that kind of gives you a peace of mind a little bit. And yeah, that's it for today's video, you guys. I will see you in the next one. All right, bye.